Hello there guys and welcome to Daily Updates. Now yesterday we witnessed the EFF celebrating its 10th year anniversary and Julius Malema addressed the crowd with a powerful speech. Now when it's all said and done, we go back to the question of how are the political parties, the opposition, going to unseat the ANC? It is now evident that not a single party alone is going to take ANC from the leadership. Even if they fight, it is not going to happen. So what they need to do is to come with a strategy of unseating the ANC, because the main goal now must be below 50%. If there is anyone thinking that there is a single party that is going to get 50% beside the ANC, that is a dreamland. It is not going to happen because it took a lot of time for the ANC to unseat that racist apartheid regime. So for other political parties, it is going to have to take a lot of time for them to be able to win. But maybe there are possible outcomes to fighting the ANC and unseating them, which I think they need to be looked at. You have this thing of the approach of the EFF and the approach of the DA, which I think we need to look at it in a way of unseating the ANC. Of course, DA and EFF will never work together, especially with their runs and how they are portraying each other. They will never work together, especially looking at the 2024 elections. But what they can do, they can work separately with the common goal of unseating the ANC. If DA wants to unseat the ANC, they should not even think about working with the ANC. They should work against the ANC. EFF should work against the ANC. That is the only way they are going to win it. So let's look at it this way. There is an attempt by the Democratic Alliance to unseat the ANC. They are saying that they want to unseat the ANC and the EFF by coming up with this thing called the Moonshot Pact. The Moonshot Pact so far consists of only 6 political parties, and they are going to convene on the 16th and the 17th of August. That is when they are going to lay everything down. And fun fact, Freedom Front Plus has just said that with this thing of their Moonshot Pact, they should be careful in electing the president of this. They are thinking that they are not ready, or the country is not ready, or their Moonshot Pact is not ready to elect a white leader. So basically, they should sit down and come up with a black leader. The Moonshot Pact is consisting of the DA, which is the leader because of their majority votes, the IFP, Freedom Front Plus, Action XA, United Independent Movement, and Spectrum National Party. So far, these are the guys that have joined. There were talks of ACDP, which they came and said, no, we are not willing to be dictated by the DA. So the DA says, if we sit together with these political parties, work together to a common goal of just combining our votes, encouraging people to vote for us, we might give the DA, the ANC, and even the EFF a challenge, because we might even have that thing of getting 51% votes, which I think they are dreaming, because it is not possible. They can challenge and come up with a lot of votes, but it is not possible for them to get 51%. It is not easy. Remember, the ANC comes from a long way. There is a lot of people who trust the ANC. They are pensioners. They are corrupt mafias. There are people who are calling themselves tenderpreneurs. Their only main focus is to do tenders, because with tenders there's corruption. So there are a lot of people. There are people who are loyal to the ANC. You can never unseat such a movement. You need to just bite it each and every day. Just bite at it so that you weaken that system called corrupt system. Now, when you look at it, the way the DA is approaching it is not a bad idea. But the bad idea amongst itself is the fact that, are they going to sit down and agree with each other? Here's the Freedom Front Plus saying that, how about we come up with a black leader, because we are really not ready for a white leader. That tells you that probably the people of South Africa also are not ready for a white leader. The DA is in charge. The DA is looking to put Steenhuisen forward. But Are other parties going to allow the DA to be in charge of everything? That remains to be seen. But I think if they sit together, if they work together, collaborate, and in turn try to understand each other, to force this thing of saying, if we portray a very good relationship to the people of South Africa, they might have a lot of trust in us. They might increase the vote, which the votes that we are looking for is from the main party, the ANC. So if we get a lot of people from the ANC coming to us, then we are helping each other by making sure that we get more votes that is weakening the ANC. I mean, you get Helen Zille having a tweet saying that 600,000 people could lose their jobs if the ANC gets away with its race quotas law, which bans colored Indian population groups from employment in certain sectors and provinces. So they were marching against that. Helen Zille is one of the people in the DA, which I think she should have just retired and just rested, because at this point, you need people with new ideas to push forward with this. So that is how DA, with its Moonshot Pact, can try and work together, because what they need at this point is not to say that we are bigger. So if we are bigger, we are going to do anything and you must follow us. They need to sit down on that 16th and 17th of August, work together and just come together and say, if we portray a good image for the people of South Africa, they might trust us. And let us put a black leader, as they said, because people want a black leader to continue leading. We can go back to the issue of saying we are under a white leader because it has been a problem in the past, so we don't want to go back there. How about they sit together, work towards this thing of saying, how do we come up with a new leader? But when you look at the parties there, the black leader, which people might look, they might say, nah, we don't need an IFP. How about Action SA? How about Mashaba, who was in a story of saying that he paid a journalist 12 million to write his book? So that is going to be a problem. They need to sit down and maybe, if they can't find a real leader amongst themselves, they need to get some leader from outside to lead them. And then you go from the DA, you rise to the EFF. EFF doesn't agree with the Moonshot Pact. They are against it. They are against the DA. So EFF, what they need to do is to also get a lot of parties working with them. So far, we know that UDM is pro-EFF relationship. ATM has been pro-EFF relationship for a long time. Now, here are parties that could join in on the movement. We are talking about the bigger parties. I was happy to see Musi Maimane sending one of the leaders of BOSA to speak at the anniversary of EFF yesterday. And he also had a tweet congratulating the EFF, which to me was like, it's not a bad idea for Musi Maimane not to associate himself with the EFF, but to try and work together with them in order for this common goal of unseating the ANC to proceed. So if BOSA joins in, and then as much as Julius Malema Patriotic Alliance, they don't see eye to eye, the EFF and Patriotic, but if they swallow their pride, because we know Patriotic Alliances doesn't want to work with the DA. They even said it, Gayton McKenzie said, the Democratic Alliance will never own the strategy or moves of Ons Baisney, which is the PA. Go to your moon, you will find us ruling Western Cape upon your return. They are mostly focused on making sure that Western Cape is under them. So if Patriotic Alliance, even with their differences with the EFF, come together and say, well, look, we don't want ANC to be a party that is governing, a party that gets over 51%. How about we leave DA and come to you guys and say, we are not working with you. We are not doing any Moonshot Pact, but we are agreeing that the coalition that we might make is for us to bring together our votes so that ANC can be weakened. And after the Patriotic Alliance, you have ACDP. They rejected the DA Moonshot Pact, which the only possible idea for them would be work together, combine those votes with the EFF, because combining them with ANC will not help anyone. So go together, join in with the EFF so that to you guys, it is not that thing of saying Julius Malema is the leader of all of us. It's saying we are independently owning our parties, but our common goal is saying that how about in the end, on the finish line, we say, let us work together on combining these votes while the DA is combining its votes. And then you weaken ANC to go below, probably going below 45%. If they go below 45%, then these two movements come together and say the Moonshot Pact and the one with the big political party, which is the EFF, come together and say, now it's time for us to talk. We are not going to listen to anything the ANC says to us. They can get their smaller parties, which will still not bring them up above 51%. So once we sit down and say, let us come together and try and find a leader, a president, and a deputy president amongst our group, then that will work for both of them. I mean, they can just say, well, look, let's put a black president, let's put Julius Malema, for instance, and then let's put the deputy president as Steenhuisen. And the rest of the parties get to have ministers in that cabinet. Then that is helping them defeat the ANC. That is working together. Even if you hate each other, you work together and make sure that it doesn't matter who says what. We do not allow the ANC to get a majority. We work together with our majority. We have EFF, the DA, and the rest of the parties joining together. The reason, even if the DA has a lot of votes, cannot elect Steenhuisen as the president is that question of the white leader. So now you get Julius Malema being the black leader who will align with a lot of people in South Africa. You put him as a president and then you put Steenhuisen as a deputy. The rest follows. And then that one, they work together as that. We don't work the same way we've been working at the municipalities, provincials. We work together in a way of saying that let's deliver services to the people of South Africa. It is not about us, but about them. That, I think, it is the solution to defeating the ANC. But there are a lot of negatives. These people hate each other. These people have tried to work with each other before. How do they overcome this thing of self-hate, of hating each other? How do they overcome this thing and work together? That is going to be a very difficult, whatever they call it, Moonshot Pact strategy. It is going to be a very difficult one. But as long as they say it must be about the people, they must draw inspiration from Nelson Mandela and say it is about the people and not about us. Whatever differences that we have, let us work together for 3 years. Even if they do good for 3 years and after 3 years they start fighting, at least that 3 years, something would change in the South African politics, in the South African government. Something will change and the people of South Africa will be happy. But if they can't do it, again we return to being ruled by the ANC, which is a very big possibility if people don't work together. Anyway, guys, that is what I was thinking that could be the solution to unseating ANC. Of course, you have your own views, which you are allowed to comment down the comment section and like the video, guys. Please subscribe to the channel, and until next time, cheers.